monumental career decision this is.
Right.
Does it really take a darkness retreat? Yo, we live on the air.
Hey, man, it was on TV, man. Like, this dude, like, rolling up. Who's this at? Hey,
Wait,
hey, I know you're special.
Come here. That was the best moment in the show history. That was the best moment in show history. But that's going to show what family we are. He's like, I don't care.
He just rolled up. You're looking good, man.
Didn't know. You've made no secret of how cool it would be to play with Aaron Rodgers. What is your pitch? You got a chance to talk to Aaron Rodgers. What are you telling him about coming to New York?
I'm telling him how close we are. I'm telling him we're right there. You got a chance to finish your career in the biggest city where they haven't done it before. They haven't won in a while since the 60s. So you know, that's my pitch to him. You can put that 12 on. I think we retired it, actually.
But you can bring it out for him, though.
Yeah, if you get Aaron Rodgers.
I think Joe might be okay with
Joe
that.
Joe said he's cool with it. He actually came on the record. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You can have 12.
It's been so long. I bet he is, right?
Yeah. Beautiful scenic shots of downtown Phoenix, Arizona.
You love him. You love him.
Site of Super Bowl 57. The week is flying by. It is already Wednesday.
Somebody say Wednesday.
That doesn't hit the same.
Doesn't work, right.
Doesn't hit the same.
But we'll do it tomorrow.
Michael's here. Natalie's here.
What's
classing
up?
up the joint. The week is flying by. We're having so much fun.
Yeah.
The years have flown by.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, he graced the cover of Sports Illustrated as the chosen one. Just yesterday, you were going to St. Vincent St. Mary in your hometown of Akron, Ohio, to see what all the fuss was about.
This kid.
This teenager.
This junior.
This second coming.
Junior in high school.
And now he's first all time.
Coming off the football field.
Right.
Because they had football
this
practice.
All-state wide receiver.
It was a playoff game. They had football practice. He leaves football practice, walks into the gym, St. Vincent St. Mary. For those of you who have been there, most of you haven't. Anyway, but most of you have been there, these double doors. You walk into double doors, and here he is. LeBron James rips off the sweatshirt, sweatpants. He was like, okay, let's go. I'm here. And the practice went to another level. This is like 16-year-old LeBron James.
And he's been everything he was hyped and billed and expected to be and more on and off the court. Michael, you used to say this. So, Natalie, you and I talked about it. You're a Jordan person. You were raised right. You're young, but you were raised right.
Right.
My requisite daily Natalie age joke. I got to do it once a day at least, okay? That's out the way. I'm not going to do it no more.
Out the way.
But, so you're a Jordan person. Everybody knows I'm a Jordan person. Michael, at some point, I don't know if you were trolling or if it turned for you where you went on the LeBron side. And even though we knew last night was coming, it was inevitable. We knew he was going to pass Kareem as the #1 all-time scorer. We knew he was going to continue to climb the assist chart. He's 4th all-time. I'm wondering, even though we knew it was coming, now that it's happened,
see, this
has it changed anything for you?
This changes nothing. Okay. This changes nothing. This is
cements it then? Does it cement something for you? I'll rephrase it.
Because it was, we knew this was coming before the season, right?
Correct.
And so it's almost like you know something's going to happen, then it happens like, oh no, mine eyes have seen. No.
Right.
I mean,
we knew he could score.
Okay.
He scored a lot of points. Yeah.
We don't really have time. I'm going to make this brief because we don't have time for really what this deserves. I've never seen a player like Michael Jordan. I haven't seen anybody who reminds me of Michael Jordan. So Jordan is unmistakable. He is unique. There's no such thing as very unique. It's redundant. He's unique. I haven't seen anybody play like that. But beyond that, Jordan for me, culturally, was everything. Like the old folks, the Beatles, some kind of cultural phenomenon, whatever it was for you. It'd be the Beehive today, I guess. I'm just trying to think of like some kind of comparison. Michael Jordan, there was so much excitement around how he looked, what he said, where he was, how he played, and that was so assuring for me. That was so transformative for me as a kid. Like Michael Jordan, the way he wore his shorts, we wore our shorts like that. When he went bald, our brothers went bald. He was good for I know Vinnie always talked about this, his colorism. For the dark skins in the house, Michael Jordan was tremendous. I'm serious. So you can't really compare. But all that being said, I'd say put it all together. I think LeBron's a better player.
Okay. So I told you a long time ago,
Ooh.
I'm not going to fight you on that.
That hurt.
I'm not going to fight you on that.
Saying that.
Because,
but I believe that.
Natalie, you weren't with us then. I feel like I'd drop the mic, if I may say so, on this conversation, at least for me. I tapped out of it because I think it's Prince and Stevie Wonder. I think it's a matter of preference. Like, I love Stevie Wonder. I'm a Prince guy. He loves Prince. He's a Stevie Wonder guy. I'm a Jordan guy. If you want to go to bat for LeBron James, say he's the greatest basketball player of all time, I'm not going to fight you on it. They got some people who say Kareem, some will say Magic. It's a cop-out, but it's true. To be in the conversation in and of itself.
It's a blessing, right.
And the way that he's evolved his game over the years, the way that he's adapted with the game, the way that he's been at the forefront of the game's evolution, the versatility, the prowess at both ends of the court. His career, I'll give him this. He should believe he's the best. He has every right to believe he's the best. If I don't agree, that's my opinion.
Right.
He's got an argument. His story.
You're starting to go there.
His story. I won't even say he has the best career. Because I still think you could put Kareem's basketball career, the guy who passed the torch to him last night.
Yeah, and that's
going back to high school at Powell Memorial, going back to UCLA, the Olympic. I mean, Kareem's all that off the court career.
Can I just interject for 15 seconds? Just 15, then I'll give it back to you. Just a little parenthetical. It's so funny that it's like LeBron passes Kareem. Does it change anything for you? Is LeBron the best? How about the guy he passed?
Yeah.
He's just been totally ignored.
No, he hasn't been totally ignored.
He's been ignored.
He hasn't been totally. No,
as the
Michael,
greatest.
You can't be totally ignored when everybody goes out of his way, rightfully so, to say he's being ignored.
But see, but
he's no longer being ignored.
Can I say this?
Yeah. I don't think he's actually really being considered anymore.
I think
Kareem.
I haven't used my quota.
I don't think of this generation, and when the conversation's framed, it's constantly framed between the two, and that's always what my issue is.
Thank you, Natalie. You just saved me because I was about to cuss. I was about to cuss. Thank you.
Like Kareem is in the conversation, and I love that you said Magic. Because there was a time that people considered Magic the best, and like people just started overlooking these things. And if you talk to people of generations even before me, they're still like, "Wait, hold on."
Bill Russell.
So it's just it's not being framed like that.
Kobe, okay,
right?
Wait, I need you cuss now though, because if LeBron could cuss, then you could cuss.
No, but I was gonna say,
go ahead and say F, man.
But no, I was gonna say it's bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Everything you just said is bullshit.
Yeah. Because here it is. This is why it is. You can't tell me like.
But I'm entertaining you.
I appreciate you. You are in the conversation. But like people say that all the time. And you want to talk about a cop out? That's a cop out for Kareem. Hey, why are we talking about Kareem? But nobody makes the case.
No, a lot of people do make the case. I don't think you're listening to the right people.
No, what I hear is, hey, Kareem. He had 6 MVPs and all these championships, and he won it in 2 different places. And look at this all-time leading scorer. And then it goes right back. It defaults to the LeBron MJ debate. There is no 3-headed debate here, Mike.
All right, okay. I'll give you that. It feels like.
So if we're going to talk about Kareem, let's talk about Kareem.
Okay, let's talk about Kareem being an all-time leading scorer without a 3-point shot. If we can do that, you know what I mean? But ultimately, I would say my overall point of LeBron was.
But the reason I'm talking about him is because he's 7'2", and he's.
No, I don't take anything away from Kareem.
But it's hard. But I think it's hard for people to look at it, to appreciate what he did so gracefully, so efficiently, without the 3-point shot. 7'2". It's hard to look at a guy. There's no crossover. There is no. He jumped and he dunked.
I think honestly, you know what it is.
I think it's optics.
You know what it is. You know what it is? Because I mean, Shaq would like a word. I mean, a lot of people like a word. You know what it is? It's because Jordan was the GOAT, the guy who wore 23, the guy who was a wing player, the guy who reminded us of Jordan.
Yeah.
That's where we went. Same with Kobe. So I don't think it's a matter of a slight against Kareem. It's more about who LeBron reminded us of or who he was coming for. Had the GOAT been a center, then maybe we would be, had the GOAT been Kareem and not Jordan, maybe we'd be looking at a center the way we look at LeBron. But what I wanted to say was LeBron's story is unmatched. That's all I was going to say. Mm-hmm. You talked about what Akron, Ohio is and was. But what he came from, and his biggest misstep, quote unquote, is an announcement at a Boys and Girls Club. Okay, for the career that he's had on and off the court, there is no better story in the NBA. And last night was such a great capper. Watching his sons, who soon he's going to be playing with his son, he's going to add that to his legacy. Watching his sons watch him was truly special.
You knew the fade was coming? Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough. You got that saved? Yeah. Yo, send that to me. That's tough. That's funny.
Hey, send that to me.
He said, you got that saved?
Yeah,
You got that
of
saved?
course, Dad. Kurt Heelan, you were in the house last night. You probably overheard us having for the umpteenth millionth time a GOAT discussion. I think a debate gets more and more difficult with every LeBron James accomplishment. What did last night's formality, because we knew it was coming, and he has nothing else to prove, but what did last night's formality and the coronation for the king, taking the throne and taking the crown as the all-time leading scorer, what does that do to, if anything, to the GOAT conversation?
I think I would say you could argue it's another pillar in his argument, or whatever you want to phrase that, but like you said, we knew that was coming. Like, we've known since before the season he was going to get it this season. So I don't think it changes anything. I do think sometimes what gets overlooked, and I thought Darvin Ham made this awesome point before the game, LeBron's not a scorer by nature. It puts up a lot of points. He's a playmaker. He's a guy who wants to pass first. And Ham's like, when you empower everybody around you, when you make all your teammates better and make Boobie Gibson a threat, and all these guys who he's lifted up through Austin Reeves this year, when those guys are threats, your scoring job gets it. You can get to the bucket and get your buck because I can't leave this guy because LeBron's going to find him and make him look good.
He might be the best teammate of all time. What did last night, what was your biggest takeaway from the scene last night being in the building? Because you could feel the electricity through the screen.
Yeah. It was the first time I had felt Laker Nation, Laker fans embraced LeBron. Really embraced him. Because remember, he came to town on the heels of Kobe. He was never, they were excited about him coming there and the possibilities, but he was a mercenary. He wasn't welcomed in like one of their own. They don't make the playoffs the first year. They win a title, but everybody's sitting at home watching their couch and small. There was no community in LA. You couldn't go to the games. You couldn't even go to a bar, right? Like, everybody was home during COVID watching it on their TVs. It didn't have the same cultural impact in the city. This was the first time it was a full-throated roar. It was a full-throated embrace of LeBron as he set history in the building, and you could feel Laker fans everywhere just so into this and into this moment and this, like the Lakers needed another piece of legacy, but like it fits in. If you're going to do it, it's kind of wild to do it on that stage. And I felt like that was the one takeaway. It felt like a finals game. It had that finals game kind of energy.
All right. Well, Kurt Heelan, you're a basketball storyteller. You're a basketball historian. And you're no longer in your daughter's room. So when you become when you get to grandpa and great grandpa status, what will you tell the young kids about this guy LeBron James? What are you going to say?
Yeah, I'd like grandpa status to be a few years off if we can arrange that. I would still say the most gifted player ever, and a guy who, look, obviously touched by the gods, 6'9", incredibly quick, insane vision, almost an eidetic memory of basketball. If you guys have interviewed him, Michael, you guys have been around him. Like, he can recall plays from 3 years ago and like where everybody is on the court. It's ridiculous. And through all that, how many guys have we seen in every sport have gifts and not make the most of them? LeBron, I think the lesson from him, what I would want my kids to take away from him is, I wrote a story this week talking about LeBron's conditioning. He was stretching every morning and every night at age 10 and 11. He was icing himself after games in high school. He was envisioning what he could be and how long he could play that early and taking care of his body that early in a way. Look, when I was in high school, the only ice was in my drinks. Like, it was not like ice in my, like, he was preparing for this opportunity to have his body ready for this. Not everybody takes advantage of their gifts the way he did.
Yeah. Natalie, got one last question for you, Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt, I'm just curious, where do you think this cements him in his legacy for the Laker franchise, with there being so many greats?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd still say he's kind of on the second tier. Like, that top tier is Kobe and Magic and probably just those two, and then maybe West. You could argue. It's a little before my time. Based on the videos I've seen, the flattest shot that was ever good. I don't know how a guy ever made a basket. And then you got that second tier with he might eventually make there. I don't know. With one championship, it's hard to do it because Shaq and Kobe have Kobe has 5. Kobe's on that upper echelon with Michael, but like he got 3 from everybody. I don't know. He'd be a little farther down just because it's so deep and everybody else has so many championships.
Hey, Kirk, you're number 1 in our book. You're number 1 in our book, baby. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again. Trade deadline. Clock's ticking. I'm sure we'll talk to you later this week. Thanks, brother.
Yeah. All right.
See what the Lakers do.
We had to remind them about the trade deadline. Here it comes.
Back to life, back to reality. Speaking of the clock, we're going to take this break. Hendon Hooker, formerly of the University of Tennessee, coming to an NFL team near you.
Nice.
Is coming up. I really don't think people underrate Kareem, and if they do, they're idiots. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't say he was underrated. He's not underrated.
Michael, we would talk about how people limit the GOAT conversation to 2 people. A lot of people limit the top quarterback in the 2023 NFL draft conversation to 3 or 4 guys. And too many people are leaving out Tennessee's Hendon Hooker, who is rehabbing from a torn ACL, but is still making an impression upon talent evaluators. He's here with us.
Rehabbing in a chair.
Well, it's an updated one. That was my first day throwing. And my first week, in draft prep, and now being able to transition to 1 knee throws, I have something posted on my Twitter. It's a blessing just to progress every day and stay in this grind.
So let's
great to see you, by the way.
It's great to see you. Yeah. Let's first handle business. Let's first take care of business before we get into your rehab and your draft process. Mm-hmm. So you are here for Bush's Beans. They're airing their first ever big game TV ad, which will air during the second half of the game. It features Peyton Manning, your former, your fellow, I should say, Tennessee Volunteer. You've been eating Bush's baked beans for a lot of time. Your dad's even got a secret family recipe, which probably includes, let me guess, some mustard, some brown sugar. You're not giving it away.
Yeah, I can't give it away.
Okay.
So I'm saying secret, right?
He look like dough.
Hey, like, dude,
come on, you can't give it away.
Okay, so if you're an NFL team, he will keep team business
right in front,
we know that
right in front of the cameras. You gonna ask me
It's family business. I can't give away that.
But I like me some baked beans though, especially with the meat in it, with barbecue in it. You know, so why Bush's? Why is Bush your favorite baked bean?
Yeah, so like you said, it's been a family recipe my dad makes for us. Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays. Even my friends still request it. So I know he's definitely gonna whip something up here, on Sunday for the game. This summer he finally gave me the recipe, so that's when
so he gave you the secret.
Yeah,
okay. I see. Now you got to guard it.
To that adulthood, you start getting the family recipes, and hopefully one day I can pass it down to my son.
So did you try it out? Have you tried it out a couple times?
Yeah.
And, okay, how did it compared to Dad's? How'd you match up?
I think I might take the cake, man.
Oh, you got him.
I told my mom that. She said I'm gonna have to see you come around Christmas, Thanksgiving. So, and then I asked my friends because they've experienced both sides too, and they were the first group of people to try mine. So. They said, I think you might have your dad here, so
okay.
Looking forward to it.
Well, listen, man, so you obviously are comfortable. You present well. You've been the face of a program. We heard you did a really good job in the interview portion and the meetings at the Senior Bowl. Why do you think you made such an impression on NFL evaluators down in Mobile?
Mm-hmm. I think, just showing my football IQ and just showing the character and person that I am and showing my leadership qualities, which is huge, in that quarterback position, and becoming the face of a dynasty. You have to have those qualities. And
of a dynasty.
Yes, sir.
So you got big goals. You ain't trying to be the face of a franchise.
Definitely. I'm trying to make my mark, in this league whenever my time comes. And through this process, I just want to soak up as much information and from any and everybody. So bits and pieces from any and everybody, and utilize that throughout my process.
Because so much is on the quarterback, and as you said, face of a dynasty. If you're going to do that, what do you think what are the challenges beyond just going out there and reading the defense and making the throws? Like you're almost like you're a CEO. It's like a CEO job. What are the biggest challenges you think?
Communicating at a high level. I feel like communication is the base of it. Being able to communicate with everyone and creating connections, throughout the organization and throughout the building. That starts in front office, down to players, coaches, down to the janitors and lunch ladies. And that's something that I did, at Tennessee before I even got on the football field. I made sure that I made those connections so I could communicate. You can't talk to everyone the same way. And so to be able to do that and do that at a high level, I think that's how you get to where you want to be.
Dude, every year we talk to a quarterback and fall in love with
We're
one.
like, this is our quarterback.
All right, official quarterback, a brother from another now. Okay, all right.
We're moving up.
We know you got a busy schedule, man. You got a lot of make the rounds here at Radio Row. So we know you got the intangibles. We know you got the IQ. We know you got it from the neck up. We saw you were killing it before you got hurt. Where are you in the recovery process, and how available will you be for the start of football activities once you're drafted?
Yeah, so today starts the 7th week of my recovery post-operation, and to be able to move around how I am and to do the exercise that I am, I'm ahead of schedule. So getting back with my doctor, getting this brace off is kind of messing up my outfits, but being able to get this brace off and start doing a lot more explosive drills and get into some jogging and some things of that nature. I'm looking forward to it. And as you can see, I made that transition from sitting down in a chair to throwing to, being on one knee, and the next step is be standing and just be at platform, just simple one-step things, and then continue to build from there. So, every day I just look at it as a leg workout. I never come in with a bad attitude. I'm blessed to be in this position. Even though that my leg is hurt.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get to go through what I'm going through. So,
man, we can't wait to see where you end up.
Exactly.
I'm drafting you in my Dynasty Fantasy League.
Yeah,
all right, I'm targeting you.
There we go.
All right, man.
You're not supposed to be playing it, though. You're not supposed to be playing the Dynasty.
No, not franchise.
Fantasy League. Okay,
so
okay.
I guess I still got to get my fix.
Okay, all right.
Hendon Hooker coming to a town near you, man. Hard not to be impressed by this guy.
Yes, sir.
Bush is best. We'll talk about the recipe offline. You can share with me off the record.
No, you can't. It's a family
We'll
recipe.
chop it up and we can let you try some, but I can't, I can't spill the beans.
We look for oh, nice.
Eddie got bars.
Eddie
got
bars. But we look forward to trying it, though.
Yes, sir.
We look forward to trying it.
Yeah.
We're here for that.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all having me.
LeBron, what a legendary night in NBA history. You're breaking the all-time scoring record. And to honor that, I had to come back to the place that it all started, Akron, Ohio. Every journey has its beginning. And tonight, I lied to you. I'm actually still at the club in Miami, but definitely all the girls say congrats though, right, girls? Congrats, right? Congrats, brother. Sorry.
Okay, that was classic.
That was really funny.
That was classic. Drake's, if this rapping thing don't work out, okay. Look at Vinny. Vinny, why Vinny? Why?
Vinny don't like it.
Okay.
Vinny didn't think it was funny.
Okay, look. Okay.
He thought it was lame.
Light-skin humor. You're not a Drake guy.
Beige rage.
What? Beige rage. What, Vinny? Oh, my God.
We take all your lines before you say them.
Vinny, you should be all smiles, and you have a beautiful smile, Vinny. You should be all smiles because you were one of the fortunate few who got to be in the house last night to witness history. That word witness has been thrown around LeBron's entire career. We've all got to witness his entire career. What a privilege I imagine it was for you to be there. I'm sure you had your phones out like everybody else did. What was it like being in the building? I mean, bro, you get to cover everything. You're everywhere. You had all these big moments, and you got credentials, galore. What was it like for you, just as a professional and as a basketball fan, to be in the building for something like that?
Well, before I began, Drake is lame as hell. And if you're gonna make a tribute video, why make it about you? Just make it about the event. Don't turn it into some, caramel macchiato advertisement for whatever the hell you doing in Miami. Like, you just stop being lame. Just do it and get it out the way. Like, that's the, Denzel Washington was at the game last night. You know what I mean? Real chill, like a fan, not making himself out to be like he has some fantasy camp or something like that. It was just ridiculous. Now, back to the lecture at hand. It was pretty cool to be there. I don't know if it didn't feel like the NBA Finals. Let me get that right. It didn't feel like the NBA Finals, but It felt big. It felt like something historic. I don't know if it felt warm. It felt like an NBA event. Like you saw Adam Silver there. You saw Mark Tatum, the deputy commissioner, like Joe Dumars, like a lot of these people who work for the NBA were there. And then you saw Magic and Kareem and other people. It didn't feel like a Laker accomplishment. It felt like an NBA accomplishment. And maybe that comes with the nomadic nature of LeBron James in his career. I think it would have felt differently in Cleveland. It probably would have felt differently in Miami had he hung around a little bit longer. But in the NBA, just to bring it back, there's no real celebration about numbers. Like, I couldn't tell you how many assists or steals that John Stockton has, or rebounds or block shots that are the unbreakable records. So to see this record come down and to see the celebration behind it, you kind of have to take yourself out of the moment and say, oh, this is something really big, because this isn't football or baseball where you kind of know the numbers. Basketball is a little bit different, or at least the NBA is a little bit different. So it was just a different night all the way around. I did see Jay-Z last night, and I thought about it. Jay-Z has been relevant since 1996. Denzel Washington has been relevant since like the 80s. We talk about longevities. We talk about longevity. That's longevity.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about this like LeBron in his 20 years, and he's mentioned it, and other people have mentioned how his game has evolved over the 20 years, and he's added some things that he didn't have clearly his first even 4 or 5 years. I wonder, Vinny, if your discussion of LeBron has evolved. Like, do you look at him?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Do you look at him in a way now that maybe you didn't 5-6 years ago? And if so, how?
No, I don't think I look at him any differently. I think the longevity has said, man, he's been able to stay healthy, right? Because there were a couple of years, especially that first year back in Cleveland, 2014-15, where he had the back injury. He went down to Miami and spent a couple weeks there. He came back and was back, a lean, mean fight machine, right? So you weren't sure how long he was going to be able to stay in prime. That was damn near a decade ago. And this is still happening. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he's found ways to, kind of manipulate the game, to work to his advantage with the spread floor, and everybody's scoring 150 points now. So he's going to get in on that. But for him to stay hungry, at least in the pursuit of whatever he's in the pursuit for, that is something that the stamina, I guess, because you see a lot of people get mentally tired from whatever they're in pursuit of, even more so than physically. You could see Michael Jordan towards the end of all 3 phases of his careers being physically and mentally taxed, more mentally taxed than physically taxed. And to see LeBron still have almost an insatiable appetite, even if it's an appetite for to win the discussion more than it is to win on the floor.
I love the way you responded to that Twitter question. What could LeBron do to be better than Jordan, become a better basketball player? I like to, when people say LeBron is better than Jordan, to me, I like to say, at what?
Exactly.
That's just my response, like, at what exactly? Listen, we started off talking about Drake, who you love.
Okay.
I feel like with the time we have.
See, y'all just it's all kicking. It's all kicking.
I mean, I'm saying, you want to talk, wait, hold on.
Y'all
I want to change the subject.
Okay, but go ahead,
you want to talk about underrated? You know who's underrated? Michael freaking Jordan's underrated.
Okay.
Because too many people think of Jordan as a scorer. Dude was one of the best defenders of all time.
Was.
An exceptional passer. An exceptional passer. I don't give a damn if he ain't top 5 in assists. He was an exceptional passer.
How many defensive teams did LeBron make?
I don't know. I'm keeping like Vinny said. I'll keep up the numbers.
LeBron has made 6.
I don't know.
LeBron has made 6. LeBron has made 6 all-defensive teams, none since 2014, his last year in Miami.
Look, Jordan was a better defender, like, no question. MVP, defensive player of the year, definitely.
So you know who's not going to make all defense anytime soon, but he is rather defensive. Is your favorite player, Vinnie Goodwill, and that's one, Kyrie Irving. Here he is from last night.
Yeah, I just know I want to be places where I'm celebrated and not just tolerated or just, kind of dealt with in a way that doesn't make me feel respected. And there were times throughout this process when I was in Brooklyn where I felt very disrespected, and my talent, I work extremely hard at what I do. No one ever talks about my work ethic though. Everyone talks about what I'm doing off the floor. So I just want to change that narrative and write my own story and just continue to prepare in the gym. And now that I'm in Dallas, just focus on what I can control, like I said. And, I'm always going to be close with those guys in Brooklyn, just like I'm close with guys in Boston. I'm close to guys in Cleveland. You know, it is a team competitive sport, but we care about each other's families way more off the court. So I know the relationships will extend off. I'm just focused on preparing to win.
Okay, look, that's laughable. Would you say in your feed, disrespect is another word for enabled?
Enabled. What? Vinnie, what?
But given the source, I understand. Given the source, but B, Vinnie, weren't they attaching or trying to attach his extension to winning the championship? That's not how it works in the NBA. But when you don't come to work as often as Kyrie doesn't come to work, that ends up being how it works. So it's like, I get why he would feel that way, but ultimately it's laughable for Kyrie Irving to think that somebody has disrespected him.
He is an all-pro at being truant, right? Like, if there's an NBA 75 team at being truant, it would be like Kyrie Irving and then Dennis Rodman on a Vegas bender, and that would be the list, right? Kyrie thinks that, and put it like this, let's back this up. I don't know if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I would even put stipulations on the contract, right? I just tell them to walk. Either, hey, Kyrie, guess what we doing? We doing renewable one-year deals. Like, this is the old school NCAA. You gonna prove your worth every year.
You're on scholarship.
He has shown that he can't be trusted. And for him to say, I've been disrespected, like,
wow.
This is how, you know what this feels like? This feels like a 2.0 student interviewing to go to Harvard, right? And being upset that you're not getting a full scholarship. I am indignant that you guys are not going to let me have a free ride at this
how you know about my
university.
Story? How you know my personal story?
Hey, listen, disrespect us anytime with that. But I tell you what, the Nets don't need to do nothing because they got Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas out here scoring like he's Vinnie Goodwill on Brother from Another. Vinnie, we got to let you go. We got the Man of the Year nominee standing by, brother.
Yes, we do.
We will talk to you later this week, man. Thank you so much.
Make sure it ain't that other Man of the Year from way back when.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Why
you pulled that one from like.
Let it be. Let us go to break.
Yeah,
why you got to.
You pulling stuff from the 1990s.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to.
But we got you.
We ain't gonna name him. All right, Vinnie, we'll talk to you.
But
later.
it was a great story, though.
Solomon Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back.
What's going on, everyone? First of all, I really just appreciate y'all having me here and giving me this platform to talk. And the main thing I always tell people when I talk about mental health is that it's okay not to be okay. My family and I, we started the defensive line, where our mission is to end the epidemic of youth suicide, especially for young people of color, by transforming the way we connect and communicate over mental health.
One of the best men in the National Football League, and that's Solomon Thomas, New York Jets defensive lineman. If you familiarize yourself with the work he does in the community and that he's done throughout his career since he came from Stanford, you know why he's a nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. And many regard that award as the highest honor that an athlete citizen can receive in the NFL. And it's easy to say a lot of times, oh, just to be in the conversation, just to be nominated is an honor. But like this, it really is the case here. Like, what does it mean to you to be recognized for work that you're not doing for the recognition?
I mean, it truly means the world. Like you say, we don't do this work for the recognition. We don't do it to be nominated, but to notice that our work is making a difference, that it's impacting people, it just means the world. And there's so many players around the league doing so much great work, and to be one of the ones that's focused on and work is highlighted, it means the world, and it just motivates me to keep going, to keep being like my peers and the other nominees here, to keep pushing my organization and myself to continue to use my platform. You know, I'm blessed with this platform to use it, and I know it's not here forever. So while I have it, I want to make sure that I'm using it all I can to help other people, to influence other people, and to make this world a better place.
No, you said in that video we came in with, you said it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
When did you get to that point? How did you get to that point to even say that?
Yeah, it took a while. Like I went through my own journey. Like I lost my sister Ella to suicide in 2018, and it threw my family's world upside down. Like we didn't know how to move on. We didn't know how to talk about mental health. It was this taboo thing, the stigma around mental health people didn't talk about it, and it was really hard for us to move on. And we saw how big of a problem there is in our world about mental health and how many people struggled, how many people reached out to us about it, and we're like, we need to do something. And so doing that, we started my foundation, the Defensive Line, where our mission is to end the epidemic of youth suicide, especially young people of color, by transforming the way we connect and communicate over mental health. And before that, like, I went through my own battle. Like, I lost my sister. I didn't know how to keep living after she died. I was supposed to be the 3rd pick in the draft, balling, and I thought that if I spoke about my mental health, people would say, because I'm not balling, he's making excuses over his mental health. And I thought I had to be this strong man. And I had the wrong definition of strong. I had the wrong definition of being a man. And I had to go to therapy. I had to go to dark places and learn how to get past them in therapy, in meditation, in journaling, and learning how to take care of myself. And it wasn't until probably 8-9 months after my sister died by suicide, a couple months after I was going through my own suicidal journey, that I realized it's okay not to be okay. It's okay for me to feel like my whole world is messed up right now, because it is. My sister's died by suicide. I don't know how to move on. It's okay for me not to have it all figured out. And once I figured that out, it's like my whole world opened up. It's like I didn't have this burden on me to feel like I had to be great, like I had to be just happy because I had money, because I was a 3rd pick in the draft, because I had status. Once I realized that it's okay not to be okay, it's okay for me to feel human, I was able to feel free, able to feel like, okay, like I can get this, I can do this, I can take the steps to make a difference and to be myself.
So good.
Powerful.
I think about you, I think about Dak Prescott, I think about Lane Johnson.
Yep.
It's become less and less taboo.
Yeah.
In recent years. What kind of conversations are you able to have with your peers, whether it's in the Jets locker room or whether it's just around the league? Like, how common are these? Do guys lean on one another for strength?
It's the change in my time in the league of mental health in the NFL has been extremely hopeful and motivating. Just the conversations guys are having. When I was at my time with the Niners, when I put out an article or did the Monday Night Special, and we talked about my sister and mental health, the guys like Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, reaching out to me and be like, hey, like, Solly, like, great article, appreciate you. Starting there, then I go to the Raiders, and guys are asking me, hey, how do I get into therapy? How do I get help? I hear what you're saying, but I don't know how to do it. And that was a big step. And then one of my teammates at the Raiders credited one of the better seasons of his career to starting regular therapy. And that was just motivating and huge for me. And then I go to the Jets, where it might not be as a big mental health conversation, but guys are wanting to start the conversation. We're like, okay, why is this important? Like, I feel like I can just push through it. Why can't I just keep doing that? And just the fact that we're having those conversations is really changing the culture in the locker room about that we have to be these big, strong men. Like, we can be these big, strong men, but we also can be human. We also can feel anxious, feel depressed, but we also can go out there and put someone on their butt and still be a man. Like, it's okay to cry. Men cry. It's okay for men to have feelings and have emotions. It's part of the everyday human experience.
And I was going to say, what was that like for you? How did it translate to the field, knowing that, there's a freedom now?
Yeah.
You can just kind of articulate what's in there.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, okay, now I can just do my thing here better?
Definitely, and that's what I like to tell guys is that mental health and physical health, they're not separate. They're not their own entities. They're together.
Yes, it's just health.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to stop saying that.
And it's so true, because once I told guys, like, my time in San Fran, my second year after my sister died by suicide, I was having a pretty bad year. Like, felt like I was running in mud, felt like I was just physically out of it and mentally out of it. But once I started going to therapy later in the year, I finished the games with like 6 strong games, my best 6 games that year for me. And like during the season, you can't get bigger, faster, stronger. You're in practice too much, you're under too much stress. But once I cleared my mind, my physical came with my mind. And that's what I like to tell guys, that it's a whole health. We look at the work Kobe Bryant used to do and the mental work he used to do with like acceptance, with handling your emotions, being still, being at peace, the Bruce Lee type work that he did. And he did that so he could be free and just be one on the court. And I think that's just so huge that guys miss that hey, if I do this mental work, it's going to make my physical work better too, because they're all intertwined, they're all combined, it's one health.
So I guess, listen, I'm thinking like you mentioned 3rd pick of the draft and the expectations that come with that.
Yeah.
And man, I not that the NFL or even just life in general is, or any industry, like, nobody wants to hear quote unquote excuses, right?
Yeah.
But I've said this before, I think a theme for this season, whether it's Damar Hamlin, whether it's conversations like this, is about the humanity under the helmet, right? Yeah. And I just wonder, like, you think about players not performing, how much, because if somebody's got a knee injury or an elbow injury or a sprained ankle, it's like, all right, he played hurt.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody's accepting of that.
Yeah.
But like when there's something going on up here and here, it's because it's been so taboo for so long, how many people have had professional struggles that we just never gave the level of empathy or sympathy or understanding to as to why they may not have lived up to being the 3rd overall pick when something was going on and we just weren't privy to.
Yeah.
That's got to be super common.
It is, and it really is. Like part of this game, part of succeeding in the NFL is being in that mental space and being able to dominate mental space. And if you have other areas of your life where you're not okay or you're struggling and you don't know how to fix or help those areas, then it's really hard to perform when you're struggling there. And the thing is with the ACL, with the elbow, you see those injuries. So all the fans, spectators, coaches, everyone around you, we see why he's not performing. But when you have too many distractions or you're struggling with anxiety or you have a lot of things going on off the field that are causing you to be depressed and you don't fix those, then people are oh, that sounds like an excuse, sounds like the whole Ben Simmons thing. There's a lot, and even if Ben Simmons didn't have any mental health issues before everything he went through, he dang sure is going to have them now after how everyone treated him through calling him excuse, all that. So
so I will talk to you about a potential future teammate.
Yeah.
And it's easy to crack on Aaron Rodgers. It's easy. But I was thinking about this yesterday, Mike, because we started to talk about it, and then we had a guest, so we didn't really get into this darkness retreat that Aaron Rodgers is going to go on to decide his future.
Yeah.
The more I thought about it, I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. Because you referenced in the video we played, meditation, he's talking about isolation. It's I just wonder if, I don't know if you've experienced anything like that, if you've gone through an exercise like that to get that kind of clarity. But all jokes aside, maybe Aaron Rodgers is maybe he's onto something.
Yeah.
And maybe I need to do something I was thinking maybe I need to go into a dark room and just have silence and turn off my phone and
I think, I don't know exactly what Aaron's doing, but I do like the idea of it. I like the idea of going somewhere and being present. We live in this world where everything's on our phones, everything's social media. We're always chasing something, comparing something, wanting something. And it's hard for us to be present with the people we are or even ourselves and really kind of look in ourselves and be okay, what growth do I need? Where am I at? What do I need to see? Or what's next for me? What's best for me? I think that being present, the way I do it, I like to meditate. I like to do wellness, mental wellness kind of things where I'm just zoning, because in my life, things are always going. Football's always going, training's always going. Meditation helps me calm down and be present and just put my phone away for a sec. So whatever it is, whatever journey you have or what coping thing you have for that, whether it's a 4-day retreat or meditation or journaling or therapy, those things can help you be present to really figure out hey, okay, what's for me? What growth do I need? What's next?
Dude,
man, you've helped us today.
Listen,
you helped everybody. You really helped the audience.
I mean, that's such a word, man, and that's what you've been doing, a nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. And one of the reasons why the Jets have such an attractive culture for people like an Aaron Rodgers. We talked to Garrett Wilson yesterday. Robert Saleh brought you in to turn this culture around, and you guys have already been successful. Good luck moving forward on and off the field, man. Good luck Thursday night, but you've already won with just the nomination, right? And thanks for the work you're doing.
Thank you,
Solomon Thomas, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all a lot for having me.
All right, we got more company coming up from Phoenix Convention Center, Radio Row, the Media Center, Super Bowl 57, almost here. We're almost done with today's show.
In the second half, you guys on defense came out and were able to get stops. What adjustments were made during that break?
Nothing. Just drop your nuts. Really, that's all it is.
That's how you become a spokesperson.
Wow.
Listen, let me tell you something. And Cam Smith, former South Carolina Gamecock, future NFL all-pro cornerback, coming to a team near you. This time of year at Radio Row, the Super Bowl, you get a lot of guys promoting a lot of products, right?
Right.
And typically it's an afterthought, if we're being honest.
This is thoughtful.
It's more about the interview. But in this situation, Cam, this is the most exciting product we've ever had a chance
exciting and
to
thoughtful.
pitch. This is Saks, okay? And Saks is offering to give these drop-temp underwear to every player who has entered the NFL draft. Cam came bearing gifts. This is exactly what I need. Because let me tell you something, Cam. I don't know. See, you young. Michael and I got drawers older than you. And our wives are throw them damn drawers away. They got holes in them drawers. But it's you get attached. So new drawers is exactly what we need, brother. Thank you so much.
Add them to the rotation, man.
Add them to the rotation, or they become the primary. You know what I mean? Throw some stuff out of the rotation, so this becomes what it's all about, man. This is great. So, did you ever think?
Got the colored ones.
I mean, no, gotta get that back. Come on,
all right.
come on.
All right.
Get your hands off my drawers. Leave them alone. Did you ever think that, given that press conference, very organic in the moment, would lead to this?
I really didn't.
And how did it come about?
I really ain't think nothing of it. I really wasn't thinking too much of it. I was just talking. Like, I was just being myself, so I wasn't really planning or nothing like that.
And so, how did that? Who reached out to you? Like, what was the process like of getting to this point?
I mean, we had a little deal with them before that, just get a little apparel and stuff for the whole team and stuff like that. And then we kind of did like a little commercial and stuff. I think 8 of us did a little commercial for them. And then it was like 2 weeks after that. That's when we had beat Tennessee, and then that's when the quote came.
But it's not only a quote. It's not only a great line. It's not only led to a partnership and a deal with Saks. But it describes your style of play. Like you are talking about scouting reports, Michael.
Right.
You are the kind of cornerback that teams long for, as in inside-outside versatility. You can play outside. You can play the slot. Like, what is it that you bring to the table that's going to make you an exceptional cornerback at the next level?
Just like you just mentioned, the versatility. Just bringing a kind of not a different mentality, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have the same mentality. Just becoming like, I know I'm that, I know I'm him. Like, I can do everything that they need me to do. I can cover any receiver that they need me to cover. So, like, it's just keeping it simple as that.
Is there anybody you have looked at and said, okay, that's a little bit of my game, but I got something different? Is there 2 or 3 players where you say, okay, I like that?
Right off the bat, Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Horn off the rip.
South Carolina, shout out.
There you go. Just having the South Carolina roots and being alumni, just like being able to pick their brains and stuff like that all the time. Just on little things, even about life and stuff like that, just trying to model everything, just seeing the success that they have and just try to model my game after that.
Yeah, we talk about Ohio State and Alabama for receivers. What's in the water in South Carolina for you cornerbacks?
So it's just a little something different nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's it like now? I mean, just like we look at the league and we know every rule change in the league. There's a rule change coming in the league. It's probably going to benefit the offense.
Yep.
I'm just going to let you know that now. So how do you, and college football too is wide open, how do you keep up? How do you stay on your game when you know that you're already at a slight disadvantage because of the side of the ball you play on?
It's really just staying composed and stuff like that. Like a lot of people, like when a receiver will break down and you weren't really ready for him to break down, try to grab and stuff like that. But just staying composed and stuff like that, just staying fundamental and have good eyes and stuff like that, and just make sure that you don't grab and stuff like that. That's just really all it is the grabbing part, really touching the receiver down the field.
And I bet some receivers let you know. They probably, you don't have to tell the secrets, but you just know, okay, he's about to get the ball now. You just know exactly when to turn, when to put your hands up.
Yeah.
So just those
anticipation.
Is that some of the stuff that JC and Stephon have helped you with?
A lot of their stuff came from a lot of film study and stuff like that. I learned that from both of them. Just seeing their game, you can always tell like how they mirror receivers and stuff like that. Always anticipating a break and stuff like that. So just seeing that and trying to add that to my game.
So what should we expect from you, man, when it comes to draft season? Your combine performance, your pro day. What kind of show you gonna put on?
I'm gonna put on a show, definitely. I'm trying to make sure that I'm highest in every category as a DB.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know if you know how much tape you seen of this kid. He got that. It's one thing to have the physical skills. One thing to have the versatility. You got to have his attitude to play that position, especially inside and outside the way you do.
Definitely got to have the confidence and the swag out there on the island.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where'd it come from?
It just really a lot of people doubting me, stuff like that. I mean, off the rip, I really didn't feel like I was supposed to be in the position that I was coming out of high school and coming to South Carolina. I felt like I was kind of out of position. I felt like this wasn't supposed to be me, stuff like that. But just getting the confidence and seeing that I can do this, I bet like it's over with. Like ain't nobody can tell me nothing different now.
Was there a I'm sure you had that attitude. Was there a particular performance where you said, okay, this confirms what I've been trying to tell y'all? Maybe a specific player or a specific team where you felt like, okay, I
can't even say that happened during the season. I really came in practice because, the way we practice and stuff at South Carolina, like just having like the game mentality and stuff like that throughout the whole week, just make sure we prepare and stuff like that. So I'll just say, like, coming in through practice, like, making sure that I did everything I was supposed to do on this play, didn't have a loaf or bust or none of that, a missed assignment or any of that, and just seeing everything come together day by day, I just started to notice, like, all right, like, you got it. Like, you're starting to get it. So just it's all about just keeping it right there and making it better.
Yo, so thank you for the draws. And I think you got my size right and everything. Yeah. We also like T-shirts. You got any Drop Your Nuts T-shirts?
I can probably get y'all some of them by the end of the day.
Yeah?
By the end of the day.
Hook it up, dog.
Look at that. He's making it happen. He said by the end of the day. Okay? End of business. I got it.
Yeah. Hey, man, we appreciate you coming through, brother.
Y'all.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thanks for the gifts.
Yeah.
Enjoy this process, man.
We'll see you
you
on
only go through it once.
Yes,
we'll see you on Sundays real soon.
Great job.
Where will we see Aaron Rodgers on Sundays is a huge question.
You talking about he going to prison, really. he talking about he get fed through a slot door.
Here's Rodgers on Pat McAfee.
Well, I'm still in the art of contemplation about my future, and that's why I think it's going to be important to get through this week, and then to take my my isolation retreat, and just to be able to contemplate all things my future, and then make a decision that I feel like is best for me moving forward, and in the highest interest of my happiness, and then move forward. It's a darkness retreat. And I've had a number of friends who've done it and had some profound experiences, and it's something that's been on my radar for a few years now, and I felt like it'd be awesome to do regardless of where I was leaning after this season. So it's been on the calendar for months and months and months, and it's coming up in a couple weeks.
I'm just fascinated by this, man. I don't know why it takes those great lengths to make such a decision that seems kind of cut and dry, but I'm fascinated by what he thinks coming out of it. I'm fascinated to see where he goes. He obviously can still play. The other guy, before we wrap up the show, Derek Carr going to visit the Saints.
How about that?
That is a perfect fit because that team has no path to a quarterback.
Oh, I like it.
And their roster is old enough to where they just need a guy to provide stability at that position. They could win that division next year.
And then when he goes to New Orleans, he's like, hey, man,
I was like, I always knew. That's my guy. Yeah, the official quarterback, a brother from another.
I'm going to call you out,
You know I'm
going
to switch it up.
I'm going to call you out.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.